Right now, inside your body, there are trillions of microscopic life forms quietly living, eating, communicating, and shaping the way you feel every single day. You cannot see them. You cannot feel them directly, but they are there, inside your gut. And most people don't realize these tiny organisms are not static. They are constantly shifting based on how you move, what you eat, and surprisingly, how often you walk. Because what happens next is something your body never announces out loud. Your gut is not just a digestion system. It's a living ecosystem. Think of it like a massive internal rainforest. Different species of microbes compete for space. Some help break down food. Some help produce energy. Some influence inflammation, mood, and even cravings. And your lifestyle decides which species dominate. Now here's where it gets interesting. Inside your body, walking is not just movement. It is a signal that changes the environment inside your gut. Most people think gut health is only about diet, but your microbes are also listening to your activity, because your body is one connected system. Imagine your gut like a city. Your microbes are the population. Food is the supply chain, and movement is the transportation system that keeps everything balanced. When you sit too long, the system becomes slow. Traffic inside the body reduces. Digestion becomes less dynamic. Microbial diversity can start to narrow. But when you walk every day, something subtle begins to change. Now watch this. During the first few minutes of walking, your digestive system gently activates. Blood flow increases toward your intestines. Muscles surrounding your gut begin to move slightly. The internal environment becomes more dynamic, and your microbes immediately notice, because they live inside a fluid environment that responds to movement. At first the change is small, a slight shift in oxygen levels, a subtle change in gut motility, a mild increase in circulation. But inside your body, small changes are everything. Now here's the part most people miss. Your gut bacteria are extremely sensitive to rhythm, not just food. Now, your internal systems begin to follow a pattern, and microbes respond to patterns like signals. Some species thrive in active, oxygen-rich environments. Others prefer slow, stagnant conditions. So when movement increases, the balance begins to shift. Now watch this. Around 10 to 15 minutes into walking, your gut muscles begin a process called peristalsis more efficiently. That simply means your intestines start gently contracting in a more coordinated rhythm. Think of it like a slow wave moving through a soft tunnel. Food moves more smoothly, waste moves more efficiently, and microbial communities are constantly being reshuffled by flow. This flow matters more than people realize, because in a stagnant gut environment, certain microbes can dominate too aggressively. But movement prevents stagnation, and walking is one of the simplest ways to create that internal motion. But here's where it gets interesting. As circulation improves, oxygen levels in parts of your gut subtly shift. Some microbes prefer low oxygen environments. Others prefer slightly higher oxygen flow. So walking doesn't just move your body. It changes the living conditions inside your gut ecosystem. Now think about that for a moment. Every step you take is changing the environment of trillions of living organisms inside you, and they respond. Now watch this. Around 20 minutes into walking, something deeper begins happening. Your metabolism starts to stabilize. Blood sugar levels become more balanced. Stress hormones begin to reduce slightly, and your nervous system shifts into a more regulated state. And your gut microbes are directly connected to all of this, because they communicate with your brain through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. It's not a metaphor. It's a real communication pathway. Microbes send chemical signals. Your brain responds. Your mood, hunger, and cravings subtly shift. This is where it gets interesting. When your body is in motion, stress signals tend to decrease. And when stress decreases, your gut environment becomes less inflammatory. Certain beneficial microbes begin to thrive in calmer conditions. At the same time, harmful bacteria that prefer chaotic environments become less dominant. Not overnight, but gradually. Now here's something most people never think about. Your gut bacteria also influence what you crave. Sugars, fats, processed foods. Certain microbes can actually send signals that increase cravings for the foods they prefer to feed on. So when walking begins shifting the microbial balance, your cravings can subtly change too. But it doesn't feel sudden. It feels like small internal adjustments. Now watch this. During consistent daily walking, your gut doesn't just react temporarily. It adapts. Microbial diversity begins to expand. That means more different types of bacteria can coexist in balance. And diversity inside the gut is strongly linked with better digestion, better immunity, and more stable energy levels. But here's the deeper layer. Your gut is not isolated. It is connected to your nervous system, immune system, and metabolism. So when walking improves gut conditions, it indirectly influences your entire body. Now think about fatigue. Low energy is not always about lack of sleep or food. Sometimes it starts in the gut environment. When microbial balance is poor, digestion becomes inefficient. Inflammation can increase slightly. Energy extraction from food becomes less optimal. But walking helps regulate that system. Not by force, but by environment change. Now here's the part most people miss. Inside your body, nothing works in isolation. Everything responds to everything else. And walking is one of the few habits that simultaneously affects digestion, circulation, metabolism, and brain chemistry at the same time. Now let's go deeper. After your walk ends, your gut doesn't immediately return to baseline. Microbial activity remains influenced by improved circulation and movement patterns. Digestive efficiency often stays slightly elevated. Motility can remain more active. And over time, your body begins to recognize this pattern. Daily movement becomes a signal of stability. And stability is something your gut ecosystem responds to very strongly. Because gut bacteria thrive in predictable environments. Not chaos, not starvation cycles, not constant disruption, but rhythm. Now this is where transformation begins. With consistent walking, your gut environment slowly rewires itself. Not in a dramatic way, but in a biological one. Better breakdown of food, smoother digestion, more balanced microbial populations, reduced internal inflammation signals, more stable energy throughout the day. And your brain begins to feel this too, because your gut is constantly communicating upward through chemical signals. This is why people who start walking daily often report something subtle but powerful. Less bloating, more stable mood, fewer random cravings, better digestion without changing diet dramatically. Not because walking is replacing food, but because it is improving the internal environment that processes food. Now here's the psychological shift most people miss. You are not just feeding your body. You are managing an ecosystem. And ecosystems respond more to consistency than intensity. Walking every day is not a fitness trick. It is environmental regulation inside your body. Now let's zoom out. If you never walk regularly, your gut environment stays more static. Your microbial diversity can narrow. Your digestive rhythm becomes less dynamic. Your internal communication becomes less efficient. Not broken, just less adaptable. But your body is always trying to adapt back toward balance. Always. Now here is the transformation message. When walking becomes a daily habit, your gut begins to shift toward adaptation, efficiency, internal rewiring, because the system is being gently trained, not forced, and that difference matters. Now the deeper truth. Your gut microbes are not working against you. They are responding to your lifestyle, and walking is one of the simplest signals you can send that says, stay active, stay balanced, stay dynamic. Now think about that. Inside your body, trillions of organisms are constantly responding to how you move through the world. Not just what you eat, but how you live. And that changes everything. Because once you understand this, Walking is no longer just exercise. It becomes communication. A daily message sent to your internal ecosystem. A rhythm your body begins to trust. And over time, that trust reshapes everything, from digestion to energy to cravings. Your body isn't broken. It's responding. And even something as simple as walking every day can quietly shift the entire ecosystem inside you. So the question becomes simple. What surprised you most about how your gut microbes respond when you start walking every day?